Hi, and welcome to our final show from the 21st Biennial Convention of the American Postal Workers Union. I'm Celeste Crenshaw. The need to support pro-labor candidates in November is a big focus. On Thursday, broadcaster Ed Schultz got delegates revved up for the task ahead. Schultz hosts the popular Ed Show on MSNBC and has frequently reported on the challenges facing the Postal Service and postal employees. He said the source of the difficulties is no secret.
I can't speak for other media people. I can only control what I can control in 3 hours on the radio every day and 1 hour at night and maybe a 6-minute segment on what's going on with postal workers. I don't know where everybody else is. I think this is fundamentally the biggest story in America. You got to go back to Benjamin Franklin. You got it. The conservatives, the Tea Party, they love to talk about the founding fathers. What did the founding fathers miss this one on the Postal Service? Were they wrong back then? Hell no, they weren't wrong. I use the Postal Service every day, and I'm going to keep using the Postal Service every day. And I tell our kids to use the Postal Service every day. And I'm waiting for a rural America, small business person to come to me with the model and show me the template of how your business in small town America, in rural America, how your template for business is going to be better now that the post office has been shut down. Tell me how you're going to get a better rate by privatizing the delivery service. Tell me how you're going to guarantee that it's going to be there when it's got to be there. We have to tell your story over and over again. And I make no bones about it. This is the biggest election in American history for American workers. And what's on the agenda that the Republicans have put is a war on women, a war on workers, a war against organizing workers. You can go right down the list. And oh, by the way, I know a lot of you have got kids and grandkids, and they go to public education schools, they go to public schools. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the Republicans, they're against that too. They want, in my belief, I believe that they want a certain amount of Americans to fail. They're addicted to cheap labor. They are willing to say that there's going to be some Americans that aren't going to make it. They're willing to do that because all you have to do is watch what they're doing when it comes to suppressing the vote. They don't want everybody's voice. We've proven that. We've seen that in the workplace when they've attacked collective bargaining. They don't want everybody's voice. They don't want everybody's vote either. And they'll go right into the elderly, and they'll go right into the minority communities of this country, and they'll put laws on them on voter ID to suppress the vote, to keep your voice down so they can do a better job of concentrating the wealth, so they can do a better job of helping corporate America, so they can do a better job of destroying workers' rights in America. This is their new America. This is who they are. What the Republicans are putting on the table for American families right now is not good for the country. And it starts with you. It starts with that phone call that you make to communicate. It starts with that door that you knock on. It starts with that coworker of yours that coworker of yours knows that you won't give up. It starts from the ground up. It starts from the family up. There's plenty of time to go big with a bigger voice, but we have to make sure that we do what's important for our families and for our kids. And right now, it's the fight, the political fight of our lives to make sure we save the direction of this country. And they can attack collective bargaining, and they can go after your health care, and they can want to privatize everything. But what we have to have confidence in is that our union brothers and sisters will stand shoulder to shoulder. And bottom line is, we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let them take it away. We're not going to let them take away what we've worked years for and what we believe in. And the moment they silence us, the moment we give up, nothing's lost. Nothing's lost until you give up. And if you stop talking, if you stop motivating, if you stop caring, that's the beginning of the end. And that's what the Republicans want. Their vision for America is about exclusion. It's not about inclusion. It's not about a rising tide lifting all boats. It's not about equal voice in the workplace. It's not about a guaranteed pension. It's not about guaranteed health care. It's not about a guarantee that your son and daughter is going to have a chance to go to a good public school. They take pride in the fact that they've cut back public workers in the school districts of America. And then they expect local folks to pay for it in poverty-stricken districts. Hell, they can't pay property tax. It's a different world economically. And so the great thing about public education is that when the doors open, everybody's welcome. The rich, the poor, the challenged, the gifted. Every socioeconomic background can walk through the door and have an equal opportunity in America. That's fundamentally what America has been about.
Schultz called on postal workers to go to the polls and take back America.
I ask you, make a commitment to the person sitting next to you today that you will not give up, that you will keep up the fight, that you will be there standing at all times, and that you will undoubtedly do everything you possibly can to get a successful conclusion for American workers in November. God bless you. Thank you for having me here today. Let's keep up the fight for America. Let's keep up the fight for America. Let's keep up the fight for America. Thank you so much. God bless you. North Dakota.
Many postal workers are involved in efforts in their local communities to save the Postal Service. One group took an extreme step, a 4-day hunger strike to send a message to Congress.
We had participated in the September 27th rallies with all the other unions, and it was great, it was really good, but then there was, in my area, almost no press coverage. It was very frustrating. And then we saw what Congress was doing or not doing, and we were getting really concerned that our message wasn't getting across to the general public. We did rallies in April, and there were separate rallies with NALC and us, but we wanted to step it up, and we thought a hunger strike is a great metaphor for Congress starving the Postal Service.
The hunger strike was just one action in the ongoing campaign to save the Postal Service. At the convention, delegates held a special meeting to share ideas and strategies to fight facility closures. The president of the Tucson area local describes how her members are mobilizing.
We started in December of 2011 with the public hearing for our closure of our plant. And that was awesome. Jobs with Justice came in with us, Occupy Tucson came in with us, and the whole community, all of the state, all of the local, even the congressmen came out for that. And that's when we started building this coalition that we have. So we have retirees in this coalition, NARF is in there, school districts are in there, the Indian, the tribal nations are in there. So that when we want to do another action, it's simple as calling, can you make it to this activity? And we did that. We've done a tax day action across from the post office. We have done two sympathy actions with the hunger strikers in Washington, D.C., only we had food at our hunger strike.
Wait a second.
Well, it's kind of hard to ask people who've just worked night shift to come and stand out in the hot sun and not at least give them orange juice and a bagel or something of that to keep them going. We have done several things at the city council. We're constant now, and we've gotten such a good rapport with the media now that 2 weeks ago there was a report by the postal inspectors about postal employees and theft and how many of them are. But the media didn't want that to be the news story, so they came to us and said, Tell us how many people don't steal. Tell us what the safeguards are. Tell us how the public can feel comfortable. So that has made a huge difference, I think, with our good media contacts. We have not only retired APWU members, but we have retired postmasters that have joined us in our fight. But the biggest thing is to start your coalition is you have to start. You have to start. You can't wait for national to organize some big rally. You need to start in your own little town and go and talk to your neighbors, your church. You just have to start. Get up, move.
The Wounded Warriors softball team is a group of military veterans who have lost limbs in combat. With the support of the APWU, they travel the country and play against able-bodied teams, serving as an inspiration for many. Matias Ferreira, who lost both legs in Afghanistan, addressed the convention.
We have a couple of things that we like to acknowledge when we're out on the field. We have many kids that are born with disabilities or even accidents, and we bring them out with us, and they become our bat boy. And one of the things that stuck me the whole time is this kid came up to me one time, is missing an arm all the way up to the shoulder. We happen to have a player, Greg Reynolds, that's missing an arm up to the shoulder, an Iraq veteran. And he came up to my ear and he whispered, he goes, you know, this is probably one of the first times in my whole life. Of course, he's only 8 years old. It's a long time for him. He goes, this is the first time in my whole life I've ever felt comfortable and I felt, you know, normal. And I told him, I was like, you know what, buddy? I was like, this is going to be your chance to be on this team. And my coach, David Van Sleek, gave him a T-shirt. We gave him a hat. And I think we were in the 6th inning and we were down by 1. We put Scotty out in second base to run a base for one of our players. And he was so excited that he missed third base coming home. So that's one of our messages we sent out there, not just to our wounded veterans, but to the whole community. You know, it's very important that perception is everything. You know, if one person sees it, everybody else will act upon it. And we just wanted to come out here and say thank you to all you guys. Thank you very much.
Postal workers have contributed thousands of dollars to support the Wounded Warriors softball team. The APWU Auxiliary voted to make fundraising for the team its top priority in the next 2 years.
What our organization does is we choose a human relations project in the city of the convention, and then we work on that project for 2 years. So everywhere we go, everything we do in those 2 years is promoting our project.
At the 2010 convention, it was the Detroit Children's Hospital. And
we actually collected over $11,000 for the Children's Hospital, as well as 800 teddy bears, color crayons, books, MP3 players. The locals just were amazing.
It's important to know that when we pick a project, we try to look for something that the APWU would be interested in. And there was a local member in Detroit whose granddaughter had been well served. She was 10 years old when we met her. Her name was Faushan. And this hospital helped this child regain her life. She had a very significant health issue, which caused her to lose all of her mobility and speech, and she was gaining it all back. She was a guest at our convention at that time. I think when you take a project and you can see the beneficiary and the good work you do, it makes people open their hearts much better.
And we don't arbitrarily pick a project. We usually ask the local of the convention city if they have something special that they are doing, and could we join them, and usually that's what happens.
We've got a significant number of American Postal workers who are veterans. And many of our families across the auxiliary have veterans or servicemen or women that are their children, spouses, cousins, nephews. And we have seen the neglect in the hospitals where there just isn't enough care. And when you're looking for someone to serve, you want to promote the veterans who've given so much for us. This project for us, the amputee softball team, it looks like someone is becoming whole again. It appears that they've found a way to take what others might view as a permanent disability and create it into something positive, uplifting, and moving.
And I think the Wounded Warriors program gives hope to other wounded veterans who really have none at some point and then realize, wait a minute, if he or she can do this, so can I.
When we first were notified about all the consolidations, we immediately began discussing, what we were going to do. We have been very active in not just plant closures and consolidations, but small office closures, et cetera. So doing something wasn't new to us. The plan was going to be new, and how we were going to approach it, because you're talking a large facility versus a small AO post office. So we had to think, how are we going to get the public excited about it? Finally, we centered on the delivery standard issue, because that was what they were going to have to do. In order to do this, they would have to reduce delivery standards and make them longer. Okay, so in other words, your letter's not going, to your neighbor or to your friend, or your bill paid or your prescriptions within 1 day. Okay, they're going to be 2, 3, 4 days. So we decided that would be the slant we needed to get the public, on our side on the issue. So first thing I did is we did a general mailing to all of our membership. We felt that this was something that flyers and of that you put up on bulletin boards was not going to get the members involved. We really needed to bring it home to them, and every one of them, because a plant closure doesn't just affect the 300, 400 members that we have up at the plant. It affects all the associate offices. That's where they get their mail from. That's, so we wanted everybody involved. And we found out that we were going to have our hearing in Wallingford, and we made sure we did a mailing again when the hearing date came up to all of our members to be there. We did TV, we did newspaper ads, in addition to our mailings, to get the public to come to this hearing. And the night of the hearing, we had, probably 300 people waiting to get in. Half of them got in, the other half got turned away, and including my mom. My mom wanted to come, she came, and I was there early. I didn't know when she showed up, but she showed up a little bit later, and she got turned away, and she goes, geez, I can't even go and support my own son. So, but as negative as that may sound, it was positive, because the public saw that, heck, the post office cares so much they wouldn't even have a facility large enough to let the public come and hear, their thoughts and comments. We really think that that effort helped in not necessarily stopping the consolidation, but delaying it, because that's where it's at right now. Motivating your membership on an issue is a difficult thing, because so many people today are so involved in, their children's events and school events and other causes and other social causes. And even though their job is what enables them to do all those things, they sometimes forget that, okay? And you got to remind them, you've got to get involved in this. This is, this is not make-believe that they want to close these places. That's very, very fortunate for us, and our members understand that. So, yes, we did build a strong coalition of our membership with the media. When National began airing their television ads, I went to our local executive board and I went to our state, other locals. We've augmented that and put that on our own cable networks in Connecticut. So I think people are on board, and it took a while to get to that point, but once you got the plants involved, you're talking large masses of people. So now it's not just a small office with the window unit closing, it's the plants too. And that's bringing all of the membership together. So I think we're on board, and we're ready for whatever they're going to try to throw at us in the next 6 months, year, whatever.
We're going to end our 5th and final program with the Parade of States. It's the opportunity for delegates to show pride and celebrate another successful convention. It's been my pleasure to be with you this week. See you next time.